Hello, this is John Miko. This is Thursday, December 1st. And I want to let you know we're not going to hold a face-to-face class tomorrow, which is Friday, December 2nd, our last class meeting. I cannot be there, but all we were planning on doing was reviewing for the final exam, and I'll do that right now. Our final exam is going to be Monday, December 5th, at 8 a.m. in Schwab 202, our regular meeting classroom. So what I've done in an effort to prepare for this exam is if you go out to exam review documents in Blackboard, and you'll see final exam review fall 2016. I prepared this document, which I'm going to review today. So our final exam starts at 8 a.m. in Schwab 202, Monday, December 5th, as you already know. I'll give you 90 minutes. It's not going to be any longer than any other exam, so you should only need an hour. But what the heck, we have a 2-hour slot, so I'll give you 90 minutes. I'm going to make 25 to 30 multiple choice questions. We'll have 3 to 4 short answers. There's going to be one potential bonus point. It is closed book, closed notes, and obviously open non. So the topics included are chapters 7, 8, and 9. Obviously, for all of these chapters, you have your text, you have PowerPoint slides, you have classroom lecture notes. You also have the lectures that I recorded for you over that time. The topics, chapter 7, remember we kind of did these out of order. We did chapter 9 first, so let's go through chapter 9, and then we will talk about the other chapters. So chapter 9 was business intelligence systems, and we talked about what business intelligence systems are. There was a very good schematic about the sources of data, operational data, social data, purchase data, and employee knowledge, and how we bring those in. We clean that data, and then we do business intelligence analysis on those things. We talked about data warehouses and data marts. If you recall the difference, data mart is typically geared toward like a department like customer service or manufacturing or finance. Data warehouse is larger in scope. It would be more toward the entire enterprise. We talked about sources of data. We talked about problems with data. Data granularity could be too fine or too coarse. You have dirty data, data that doesn't make sense. We're not, instead of saying male or female, it says other. Missing values, data not integrated. We talked about once we get data, how do we use it? Well, we talked about 5 functions we can do for reporting, 5 tools: sorting, grouping, calculating, filtering, and formatting. There should be another T in formatting. And we also did a little exercise with that. We did it with Excel. We also talked about RFM analysis. Remember, RFM analysis was when we have a customer and our customer base, and we sort them based on 3 criteria: how recently they purchased from us, how frequently they purchase from us, and how much money they spend. That was RFM analysis. We also used the pivot table to emulate an OLAP cube. OLAP stands for Online Analytical Processing. We talked about dimensions. These are categories. We talked about measures. These are values like profit. We talked about the ability to drill down, like go to another level. And the whole thing was called an OLAP cube. And you remember we used pivot tables for that purpose. We also talked about market basket analysis. Do you remember market basket analysis was how things are bought together when we talked about cross-selling and upselling? We talked about lift and confidence. These are support and lift, which is ways we measure, how much, if we know someone bought this item, how does it increase the confidence that they bought another item? We also talked about clickstream data. So this was under business intelligence systems. That was the first chapter we covered. Then we went back to chapter 7. In chapter 7, we didn't cover all the detail of chapter 7. We first talked about the scope of information systems, talked about personal, work group, enterprise, and inter-enterprise. We talked about information silos. Information silos are when information isn't shared across departments, which happens because of the way legacy systems are built up. They are built up from over years. Customer service maybe wanted a system. Manufacturing also wanted a system. So they built their own system, but they didn't necessarily talk to one another. So we have problems because of that. We have data integrity problems. We have data redundancy problems. We talked about business process reengineering, or reconfiguring, and we talked a lot about processes and how processes can make things more efficient and more effective. That was all in chapter 7. We also talked about the customer life cycle, and we talked about customer relationship management and enterprise resource planning. In chapter 8, the last chapter we covered, we talked about social media information systems, and we talked about user communities, sponsors such as organizations that put a Facebook page up, and then we talked about social media application providers such as Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all the social media providers. We talked a lot about things like pay-per-click and viral marketing and software as a service, beta programs, organic interface, mashups, e-marketing. Talked a little bit about search engine marketing. We talked about Google AdWords, Google AdSense programs, click-through rate, cost per click, conversion, and SEO. We talked about slates. These acronyms mean something. Taxonomy versus folksonomy. Talked a little bit about social capital, all these kind of things, and we ended, I think, with user-generated content, and we talked about how we respond to those things. So, chapters 7 we probably didn't cover as much as we did in chapters 8 and chapters 9. So those are, all those topics are and anything we covered in class are free game for the multiple choice. The multiple choice will be very similar to all the other exams we took in that each multiple choice will be worth 2 points. We'll have 25 to 30 of those on those various chapters. And we're going to have 3 or 4 short answers. And the short answers I have provided here. Now, since we're not in class, we usually play that little game where I allow you to lock in a question and also to eliminate a question. So we're not going to be able to do that in class. So if you click on this link, I designed a quick little Google form. Hopefully it comes up here. Maybe not. Yeah, here it is. So which question on the final exam would you like to lock in? So 1 through 8, which matches 1 through 8 over here. And which question would you like to eliminate? 1 through 8. Oh, option 9 is a bad option. Don't choose option 9. And then click submit, and I'll tally those up end of day Friday, and I'll get back to you with one that was locked in and the one that was eliminated. But let's take a look at the potential questions. The potential questions 1 through 8 are as follows. So the first one, explain the term information silos, how they are created in organizations, and what problems they can cause. So information silos are created when organizations build disparate, distinct information systems to serve a purpose or department that don't necessarily talk to one another. The problems they create are many. They cause data redundancy, in which the same data is located in multiple systems. There's data integration issues. They aren't related to one another. Causes problems in processes with efficiency and also effectiveness. What are the 5 reporting operations, and give an example of how they might be used to gather business intelligence from data. So those were, if you recall, sorting, grouping, calculating, filtering, and formatting. And might be a good example is how we use them to create our RFM analysis. You can do a lot of different things, how we might use sorting or filtering or grouping or calculating or filtering to come up with some business intelligence. Explain the term search engine marketing in the Google AdWords program, and the terms CPC, which is cost per click, CTR, which is click-through rate, and what a conversion is. So Search engine marketing, as you know, is the process of marketing our products and services via search engine results. Google AdWords obviously is one such program that allows us to do this. We talked in detail about impressions, clicks, cost per click, click-through rate, and conversion. So those are all good details. Explain in detail what RFM analysis is. Remember, that stands for recency, frequency, and money. So how often people purchase is frequency, how recently they purchase is the R, and money. And maybe give an example, like a 511 means the person used to purchase a lot from us and frequently, but hasn't purchased from us recently. It's a 511. So meaning we would want to recruit that customer back. They were a good customer at one point, and we want them back. What are the 4 possibilities for the scope of an information system? Explain each and give an example. That was up here in chapter 7. So if we look at the scope of information systems, we talk about personal, work group, enterprise, and inter-enterprise. So there's a lot of good examples of those in your book, what they might be doing and why they are aimed at that scope. Define and explain OLAP. Make sure to use the terms dimension, measures, drill down, and OLAP cube. Use an example to clarify your answer. That was online analytical processing. We talked about that as well. We used a pivot table to emulate that, so you can give some examples in that. List and describe some of the problems that must be corrected with operational data before it can be used for business intelligence systems. So there's a whole section on dirty data, missing values, data integrity issues. So those are problems that have to be corrected before we put the data into our data warehouse or data mart. And then what does the term Enterprise 2.0 mean? Use the acronym SLATES. Do you remember SLATES meant searching, linking, authoring, tags, extensions, and signals, and that was in your book as well. So that is the crux of our final exam. Once again, it is Monday, December 5th at 8 a.m. in Schwab 202. So I'm going to put this video up on YouTube and email it to you along with this take-home assignment, or I'm sorry, this review document. It's been a pleasure teaching you guys. I look forward to seeing you Monday. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, and I'd be more than happy to help you. Thank you.